demos. Do we have demos?
Yes, I have 2 demos.
Awesome. Isham has all the demos. We have other demos.
Not just 2.
Other demos. Okay. Topics. 1.6. Other topics. Let's see. Status sorted 1. Not sure we did some. Yeah, we approved some PRs and I saw some builds. So what did we get? Role activities, add role, event activities, and handlers for workflows. So new activity for roles when a role is created, updated, created, removed, renamed, user added, removed, permission added, permission removed. All these events available in workflows. Null check on menu before adding alternates because null ref. MenuPart is ContentMenuItem checking the content is published before adding it to the navigation builder. Email confirmation fail on multiple confirmation attempts. Okay. And change cache option labels. Nice. Think. Not this one. This one. If left empty, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so these updates on Orchard 1. Orchard Core. Orchard Core, I need to do. It's not the same machine, so I'm not up to date. And here I need to filter on main. And I will check out for next time. Last week, 14. We saw that. Mike use counts instead of querying in search module or feedback from the PR, I assume. Okay. Change the namespace of search settings, same thing, removing abstractions, I believe. Oh, this is the S here, but adding an S here, which will break people. Okay.
We had a couple other break-in in that same module. Remember, we had to remove the abstraction from.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When I saw the change namespace, the abstraction, it was not, it's just S. And this one is in main branch. Okay. Blobs update, AWS update, and I see it's done here also. NuGet.config here, just such that if you have a higher NuGet.config, then it's not taken into account. It's also useful for security reasons, so you can't inject other feeds. Content type condition evaluator. Content type condition evaluator. Oh yeah, this true false here. Well, this is correct, but we talked about the expression body. Isham will agree with the term. And here, turning a new value every time. Localization options updater. Docs. Program.cs instead of startup to follow the new templates and fixing this is my branch lambda expression. That's the reason about my previous comment, which is using now an expression body. Where is the expression body? Here. This is a lambda. This is expression body. CacheContextEntry property should be readonly. Okay, why not? Make AuditTrailPermissions static. Sure. Remove unused constructor. Correct. Document ticket store. Documentation. Valid. Valid. So this one has fixed ticket. So document ticket store here. This is a feature, right? Yeah, this is a feature. So yeah, by default, the authentication tickets are stored using cookies. So they are flowed on every request. But if the ticket is too big, like too many permissions, then the cookie will be truncated. Oh no, it's not truncated because it's splitting. Oh no, it's sessions. No, it's when sessions are stored in cookies, it's using multiple cookies. But here, when the key is too big, then might be an issue. Then you need to store the cookie server side. By using this feature, it will be stored in the distributed cache, which is either in memory, if there is a single node, or the distributed cache implementation like Redis, if you use multiple nodes. Well, you can still use Redis even with one node, but that's using the distributed cache. And then no more cookie limit. And hence ElasticIndexManager to support when no source is included. Okay. There is no source. Okay. Date readme. Orchard CMS semicolon. Good. Name seems familiar. Do you know this guy, Antoine? Jint update. MimeKit. Awesome. MimeKit update from 360 to 361 must be big fix and update AWS again here. Okay. Questions? No questions. Good. Demo time. Isham will give us the best demos.
Okay, I will take the control.
No, you don't take the control. You present.
It's me.
So I will deny the control. And I will let you present your screen.
Okay, just a second.
Is that what you wanted to do, like do the demo instead of controlling my computer?
Yeah. Just share. Sorry. Where is the share? Maybe I didn't find the share option here.
It should be between the mic and the leave meeting button. At least that's it for me, as you see, same on Sebastian's screen.
Seeing something will happen. Did you see my screen?
No, we see Sebastian. You should do more demos so that way you're not struggling how to share. So you should do a demo every week so you can learn how to demo. Look at the screen. You see that button is showing you
from Teams before.
Look at Sebastian's screen. He's showing you a screenshot where the arrow should be to share.
Where is? Not here. There's take control, but I'm not sure if this is the right option or not. Where is it? Okay, it is working now.
I think it's loading, but I don't see anything yet.
Okay.
I can see your screen now.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Maybe this is the first time I share on meeting. Okay, I just have two demos. The first one is about the system module, which is a module part of Orchard core country modules. This module is basically provide an information about the current running application with extra features. I remember Zoltan demo few weeks ago, a build module which has some of the functionality, but this module extend the build module with extra features like the maintenance mode. You can toggle your website on and off based on the admin settings. Also, there is an updates feature which allow you to show if there is any upcoming updates for Orchard core. Let me show you this on action. Okay, dashboard. Let me go to the features. System, there are 3 features. I will enable the system one here. And you will notice there's a menu here that has an info submenu. It gives you a bunch of things, the application names, application version, and Orchard core version, the ASP framework, and the OS that your application is run on. Also, the database provider for the default tenant, as well as it gives you all the available tenants with the enabled feature. That is for the system information. Regarding the second one, I will go to the, where is it? The blog. I will go to the features. Maintenance. There is a feature called system maintenance, when I enable this feature, you will notice there is an option on the settings that allow the admin to toggle the maintenance mode for your website on and off. So for this website, I already enable this setting. And now when I log off and go to website, I will see the maintenance screen. And when I come back, whenever I don't need my site under maintenance, I can just only tick that option and everything will go as the default state. This is, I think, the two features I want to demo for this, the first module. I'm not sure if there is any question or any comment about it. Or shall I go to the second one?
Yes, second one. One comment though, in terms of permissions, like who can see all the tenants and all the features?
This is for the default because this feature, which I enabled just for the, yes. And if you go here, where features.
So listing those features will give you, I'm sorry, when you listed the features, is that like it's going to list every single tenant and every feature under each tenant?
I didn't get you, Mike.
I think so.
You think so? Yeah, that I don't know, that might be too much.
It's duplication with the tenants list. But I like the screen with the info about the URL, the OS, the versions, everything. I like it. The tenants, I'm not sure because we have the tenants management already. If it's just on the default.
Yes. I just list that because I saw some PHP CMSs do something like this, so we can trust our tenant page. Okay, this is for the first demo. The second, I have the second one about the health checks module. Today in Orchard core we have already health checks, but I don't think there is something special to that because whenever you go to the /live, I think it shows healthy, not too much. So for that, when we go to the feature, sorry, not here. If I go to the root of the website, I change the website. Health, for example, there is a custom URL tenant. It will show if the tenants are healthy or not, because I think it is useful sometimes when you have a list of tons of tenants and you want to make sure if no one of these tenants are disabled or deleted by mistake. So for now, because all the tenants are on the start state or running state, sorry, it will show it is healthy. And whenever I disable, for example, blog, it shows unhealthy because one of these tenants are disabled. This is one of the health checks, tenant health checks. Another checks I made were here for the send grid module. And sometimes also it is useful for mailing service. You want to ensure if the emailing service are up and running or not. Similarly, when I go to the send grid, sorry, where is it? Send, okay, I'm not sure if there is a hyphen or not. Yep, it is unhealthy because the configuration or the API key for the SendGrid is not provided. I already installed the SendGrid in the blog. So when we did the same thing here, health is great. In the blog, it is healthy because all the configuration in the blog tenant are correct. Also, one extra thing, if I go to the health URL, it will choose like a statistics for all the available checks that are running on the tenant. It will be aggregated on one screen, and maybe the next step is to show these health checks in a pretty good UI. And this is because how this shows up, because there is a new configuration here, like show details for the health checks. When you enable it from the app settings, you will see all the checks that comes from the modules, the available modules. That's my demos. Any question? And hope we have something like the health checks in Orchard Core, because there are many things we need to check.
So just a comment, what I think might be useful on the first screen you showed us, where you have a list of tenants, instead of listing the features, maybe there list healthy, unhealthy, maybe their
Yes.
URL as well. That will be helpful,
Yes.
but not listing the features. At least that's what I think. But that might be helpful.
Okay.
2 screens in one.
Okay, thank you.
How is it related to ASP.NET health checks?
It is the same thing. Like, I think where's here?
Is it the same
It is
thing, or is it ASP.NET health check?
ASP.NET health check, like this one,
Okay.
for example. There's a health check here. If I zoom this one, okay. For example, this one, system update health check.
We don't see what you're showing.
Just a second.
We see Edge. Well, at least this is what I see. I see the
Okay.
health URL is the JSON document.
Okay, now I'm on the one of the health checks.
So I believe you shared your browser.
Okay,
and then-
sorry. Maybe I just a second. Share the. Okay, now I think you should
Oh yeah,
see
perfect.
the
Thank
feature.
you.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So
One of the health
check.
Yes, the ASP interface from the diagnostic
awesome.
namespace. For example, this one is system update. It will check if there is an update from the new Git package. If there is an update, it will show there are view update available. Otherwise, it will be healthy. So now, if I
Is it just this one? Is it just a sample that doesn't make any sense, or is it supposed to make any sense? Because saying it's not healthy because there is an update on NuGet, I mean.
Yes, but when I check this, it will check the latest version on the NuGet. For now, I think I'm running on 1.5, so it will say healthy. Otherwise, whenever 1.6 release, it will shows unhealthy. So that's I.
But why?
Need to. Because there.
Well, it depends what you mean by healthy and unhealthy, but the goal of the health check is to see if an application is working or not. And for instance, in Kubernetes, to say, okay, I need to start a new instance because this instance is unhealthy. So in this case, it will never be healthy because you are just putting, by doing that, we are just making all the alternate instances going down because we just released a new version.
Yes. Makes sense. You are right.
That's why
also,
I remember it's just a sample to show how it could work, or if it's something that is shipped, and that I think it should not be shipped like this.
Okay.
This one is dangerous.
Yes. Also, there are another option, degraded, but I'm not sure for why we need this. So that's why I choose unhealthy instead.
Degraded may be like it's working but in a degraded mode. So that might be the only better option. I need to check what Kubernetes will do or what clients of the health check will do. Also, I'm wondering when this endpoint is evaluated every time. Well, this code is evaluated every time the endpoint is accessed. So I believe then it will check, it will do a NuGet query every time. Maybe we need to cache some things here.
Yes, you are right. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Maybe we need to
parentheses. Yeah, some comments, small comments.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but that's great. I like the fact that it's integrated. And how do you register that? Like any other health check in HPNet?
Yes, this is a startup. Just basic. I build simple extensions.
Okay.
To add it, simple like Orchard, just because in Orchard code we just have a simple URL healthy. There's nothing there, but we can do something better for databases or emails and a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Typically for SendGrid, the health check will not be to check if it's configured, I believe, maybe. But I will see, I don't know, yeah, probably. Well, SendGrid is weird because it's a different process, so it will have its own health check. But I don't know why.
Yep.
Because the application still works, but the SendGrid, I don't know.
So that's why
if you restart Orchard, SendGrid will still be down. I mean,
I will think about it.
What would be interesting to see if, like, to add the database health check for sure. Like, try to do a query.
Yes.
Typical, yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Or maybe a list of services and let the service define its own health check. So like YesSQL will provide you with the database service if it's healthy or not, and then maybe the email will check if it's healthy or not. Maybe it'll send a test email.
But we have to, that was my question before with health check. What does it mean to be healthy, and what does it mean to not be healthy? From what I know, when it's not healthy, you want to restart the app or to create a new node, like on Kubernetes. And if the email doesn't work, you can restart Orchard. That won't change because the email should not expose its healthiness. But database, however, like when you ask Orchard, can you query the database, and you say no, then no, you can't. But at the same time, you could say, well, if the database is down, then it's still not healthy, even if you restart. I don't know. I need to.
Yeah, but I think if the service defines its own logic for health check, at least it will tell us, right? Like in that mail server, for example, maybe that health check will actually attempt to send us like a test email, right? And if it sends it, then it's healthy to it, right? So it's defining its own logic.
So when you do health/SendGrid or health/email or health/database, yes, that is good. But if you do maintenance/health, what do we report? Like, should we report it's not healthy because the email is not healthy? Maybe not.
I mean, if the site is returning 200, HTTP 200 is healthy, I think for that. But if you want to do a service level health check, then each service will define its own health though. Because if there's a database error, the site is going to return like 500, right? It's not going to return 200. So I think that's usually the case now.
Also, you can return a new health check result, but I'm not sure if it is healthy or unhealthy, but I'm expecting it will show a health check with description, but I'm not sure about the original state for that, because the default one are 3, healthy, unhealthy, and degraded, but can do your own by returning new health check result. I might try it after that.
Yeah, I think for a tenant should be healthy if its state is running and you go to the home page and that returns HTTP 200. I think that's healthy.
No, Mike, that's not
No?
how the health APIs are supposed to work. You're supposed to hit an endpoint that will let you know if something works, but it should not try itself to reach the home page. It should check that every subsystem is working to tell you yes. So maybe that will be part of it, but that's not how it's supposed to do. I don't think so. I will read about it. I need to understand more about
it. Thank you for your feedback.
Carlos, did you have something to say? I see you are unmuted. I wonder if you wanted to add something or just by mistake. I will say it was by mistake. So now it's muted.
Okay.
Background noise from Carlos. That's it.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
Okay, thank you, Hisham, for the demos.
Thank you.
Good job. Looks good.
Now you know how to share your screen.
Thank you.
And I will do it myself. I know how to share my screen. I do that all the time. Yeah, and if you have this little window, you also have here the button to share. Now it's to unshare in my case, but otherwise that's where you go. Okay. Done. Topics 1.6. Let's look at 1.6. So I saw that people have worked on it. We created a branch and a pull request to start releasing 1.6. And what has been done?
Sebastian, I pasted a link into the chat. Can you please take a look at that too? It's an Orchard 1 issue I opened.
Okay, after I added it in the topics then.
Yeah, thank you.
So what we did is we pointed to the latest release of translations from Cloudsmith. Just to test that it's working. Mike updated all the version numbers, created a link to this thing, to the release notes, which exists, the file exists because it was in the main branch. This is the current beta translations. And when we agree that it's working, we'll ship it on NuGet and then point to the official NuGet translation version, which will be 1.6.0, and remove the pointer from NuGet sources to Cloudsmith. All these have been updated. Just one comment, Mike. I don't know how you found all the 1.5.0, but also look for 1.5, not 1.5.0, because there might be some strings with just 1.5. Okay, you didn't do that.
Yeah, I also compared a previous release, the 1.5 release, and similar changes.
I saw also.
I looked up at a PR from like 1.5 PR, at least. That's what I did.
I saw a checklist somewhere. Why is the checklist? Why is it not there? Oh, in the issue maybe.
It's an issue. I created an issue with that,
okay.
And then there's that README also has the template.
Okay. The issue is not taking the template, so you still have references to the old issues before we updated the template, and that's an issue here. Like you update the template, okay, that's fine. But every time we create the new issue, we don't use the template, we use the previous issue. So we are not taking the things from the updated template. Let me show you.
Yeah, and I did. I copied the 1.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's an issue. That's the problem.
So you don't want to do that.
So you see here, look,
from the...
so you copy pasted the one from before, okay? But every time we update the template to make it better. But we never take the template. We just take the previous one, which is
okay.
Example. Yeah, I'm sure you fixed it, but it was mentioning master. Editing.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying now. We should copy the one
because
from the
when
doc.
I saw master, when I saw master, I'm like, okay, we are still taking the one from 2 years ago, the same list from 2 years ago, which we update every time. And I did the same thing as you, like I copy paste the previous stuff and instead of creating that from the template. So that's just so. And so somebody must have, maybe Hisham must have edited that to master to replace by main. But yeah, just for next time, we need to take the new template and not the old issue. Okay, so that's good. This is after APO file.
What about the translation?
Oh, here, you see what I'm saying? It was there, master. What about the translation?
Okay.
What about the translations?
Because I think last time you modified from Cloudsmith. I'm not sure why.
So
yes.
What about the translation?
I think there was an issue for the symbols in the NuGet and you fixed it last time.
Oh yeah. So on the translation, yeah, it's just a small thing, like what should call the translation. So what we fixed last week on the translation is that thing here. So with the new SDK, well, actually from 7.0 SDK, they changed the .NET NuGet push command and some other commands, such the -n, which is actually -- no symbols, same thing, doesn't take any argument anymore. So you just call it like -- no symbols or -n. You don't say true like before, to say skip symbols true. And because of that, because we had true and it updated the SDK, there was an error message saying could not find file true. What? And we're like, what file true? And this is because of that, because it didn't expect any argument. So the next argument will be a file name. And it says, oh, true is not the correct file name. So it's Zoltan who actually filed an issue on NuGet to mention that. And this is the issue we found by Googling it. And so we found out that we had to change the argument -n or -- no symbol without the true. Now it's publishing correctly. So that was the fix we did on translations. So it published on Cloudsmith. Then we are pointing to Cloudsmith here to test the translations. And I hope that someone can take this branch and do a setup and see that the translation show up correctly on the setup screen and are correctly loaded, and probably also with the Chinese translations, because this was a big change. And when it's done and it works, then we can publish the translation on NuGet and not on Cloudsmith, and then point to 1.60 here. Okay, because we validated that it was working on Cloudsmith, so now we can point to 1.60 that we ship on NuGet and remove the feed here. That's the next task, but we need to test that. So that's it. Release 1.6. So that's the status. We have a list of issues to go through, but that's nothing very hard. Just testing. So please test the 1.6 branch, that the setup works, that translations work, that you can follow the tutorials to create new applications, that the new modules, the new parts work correctly. We did a test a few weeks ago by creating the NuGet packages in a local folder and then trying the templates with the local folder, just to be sure that the templates for this version are working. Didn't we document that, Antoine and Mike? Because we did that, we were on the same meeting, right? And sure what we said about that. I kind of remember we did some documentation just to explain what to do to test. Not.
I'm not sure. Yeah, if you scroll down, there's a comment at the very bottom about the roadmap. I think is a valid point. I think maybe we should actually remove the roadmap from the wiki in GitHub and maybe put it in the documentation page somewhere. So it's updated directly in the documentation site.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, because I
Updated.
don't know if it's updated or not.
This is the only thing. Oh, I see. What was added for each version and everything we didn't. Okay. Or we can nuke this page now because it's just historical thing. And under release notes, we should have what's new and what's
correct
changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this
yeah,
is for the roadmap, maybe like a high level of a roadmap of the project direct.
Now just have the things here.
Yeah, but maybe we should just take it completely out from here and put it in the documentation if it's needed.
Maybe.
Or in this case, we don't really need it, period, because we already have everything in the documentation.
No, we could have this as a page in the documentation instead of having it there and some documentation. Why have two locations? No, it could be everything in the documentation. So every past thing in the release notes, like we have today in the documentation, and the future also in the same documentation, but as a different page. So instead of having a released 16MD, we could have also roadmap.md at the same level. That defines what's the next, right? Good, crazy. We have that. So why not have roadmap somewhere for the future and have it there instead of having it in a wiki? Good. Okay, so Benedict wants to look at Orchard 1. Are you crazy, Benedict?
Yes. I've never been that crazy.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I'm sure. Go on. So what's your question about that?
I would just be adding a GitHub Actions workflow here.
Yes.
Run daily. Yeah.
Why run daily? Like, well, run like we do in Orchard Core, like every commit or for PRs. That's why I was suggesting I assume the same thing as what we have in Orchard Core, because it should not be harder and it's actually super easy.
Okay, so it's the same. So is it about the one that you mentioned for Orchard Core? Is it about generating the strings or rebuilding the Crowdin package? Because when you translate strings in Crowdin, then
okay, sorry. I thought you were mentioning like Orchard 1 and not. I didn't see Crowdin here when I reread the thing. Okay. Okay, that's not okay. I was commenting on actually using GitHub Actions to build Orchard 1 instead of TeamCity, because this is what we are doing also for Orchard 1, using TeamCity to build.
Actually, that could also be useful. I mean, moving the normal build to GitHub Actions as well.
Yeah, and because we keep using TeamCity and it hasn't worked for like years, but I keep receiving the notifications that a build has failed. Okay, I don't even know where it is. So yes, we should move Orchard 1 build to GitHub Actions. And now you say Crowdin. Yeah, this could be part, because all the translations are part of this repo. What are the translation? No, they're not.
It's most. So the idea here is that when you translate strings in Crowdin and you want to download the latest package, then the strings that you have just translated like 5 minutes ago aren't necessarily included in the package that you can download. So an administrator needs to actually click on a button to rebuild the package that you can download. But instead, in our TeamCity, actually, we have a task that runs, a build that runs every half an hour to actually trigger the API to rebuild the package. So we are actually moving away from TeamCity. So I would just move that build in particular to the Orchard repository in a workflow. But there's not much activity there. So once a day should still be sufficient, but it has to be somewhere.
Have you seen what we do with Orchard Core?
More or less. I'm not 100% familiar with the process, but it also works differently. I think.
Crowdin is configured to create a PR every day from the changes. So if you look at PR here, this is what Crowdin created. Crowdin created this PR to update the POT files based on everything that was edited in Crowdin. So this is automatically generated by Crowdin. And what we do is it creates a PR. So we have a task that, well, we don't have a task here, but oh, there is a task. Yeah. So it will build, there is a script to check that everything is correct or to build the packages. And when we squash, the same task applies on the main branch to build the packages again and push them on Cloudsmith. In Orchard 1, we don't have packages for POT files. That's fine. We don't have to do that. But yeah, this way it's almost automated. You can run a script then when there is a PR or when you approve the PR.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way to do that.
I see. To be honest, so yeah, this could be useful for Orchard 1 as well, but for now I would just like to solve the immediate problem, so to speak. And the current Orchard 1 Crowdin setup doesn't have like a proper repository integration for the translation files. It's just storing Crowdin and that's it. Someone could also add this to Orchard 1. Maybe I will if I have the time, but I don't think there's enough activity to justify at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it would just be really this super simple recurring workflow just to trigger the package build, and that's it for now.
Good. And if you really want to automate it when there is a change using PRs, if you tell Crowdin to create the PR and you trigger when there is a PR, then you can also have the same GitHub action delete the PR. So the PR triggers the script that will delete the PR.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I was going to ask that, is there someone actually actively checking these, or what happens with all the PRs that we are created?
Yeah, oh yes, for transactions, yes. Yeah, for this one, we put them. But in this case, if you want to automate it, you could say when there is a PR that Crowdin create at the end of the day, if there is a change, then you do whatever you need, and you also delete the PR. So you just use a PR from Crowdin to know that there is something to do.
I see. Makes sense. Thank you.
But yeah, use GitHub Actions for everything. It's the best. It's faster. It's easier. It's more integrated. So that I love it.
Exactly. Thanks.
Okay. Other topics?
Victoria is here.
Is that a topic?
I don't know, is it?
Yes, I'm here, but I don't really have an update. I'm just here if somebody has a question or anything.
So it's not a topic now.
Not a topic. I did send the invite for Eventbrite. You both got it?
Yeah, yes, I got it. Thank you.
Mike, you get it? I didn't receive an email that you accepted it.
I get it. I get it. I don't think I need anything with it, so I didn't want to sign up or create it for no reason.
Good.
But if needed, I have it. I will do it, or I will use it. Thank you.
Let's look at some PRs. Lots of things from Ishan. Let's look at what it is. Factoring, interesting. I didn't realize we could do that. Mix that. We'll look at it on Thursday. I want to look if there is anything important for 1.6. Refactoring and renaming. Thing since then. Issues. Someone add something to 1.6, just a release. That's good. This one, I've been talking with Isham about it. Use AI to provide translations for documents.
I just provided the link on the chat.
The link for what?
He talking
look at
about
something?
the same point, GitHub.
Oh, I see.
He pointed the same point about the GitHub Actions. He want to
What?
use the
What
GitHub
is that?
portal.
Antoine, what is that? Is
He-
that a thing? Oh no. What is that? I'm confused. That repository. Before, so I don't understand the sentence. Antoine, did you create that?
I think he meant the Orchard translation repo.
Oh, no, I think. So I stopped translating. So
As a fork of the main repo, I created it for the documentation for people speaking Chinese.
the documentation, not the documentation, not the pure files.
Yeah, and I created on Read the Docs another project specific for Orchard in Chinese.
And there is a how do we get there?
You
You have to know. Oh, here.
The docs, maybe? Oh, yeah.
No, that's not that. That's a different thing. But it does, but it doesn't work for me. Okay, so what? Let me check.
I pasted the link in the chat.
I have the chat in my face, so I don't see it. Oh, okay. So we have something. Yeah, that must be. Yeah, they have to.
And for example, for pages, they were able to re-upload some videos because YouTube is not available in China.
Okay, so they actually translate that manually, and they would like to automate it. I mean, yeah, it's this thing, but what's the point of automating? Just go on the English one and say there must be a magic button to say translate, and then it will translate. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's either it's humanly curated, or you can use tools to do that, but it can be live. Doesn't have to be stored in a repo. Okay, well. And the POT files is a different thing. This could also be done in a semi-automated way. Crowdin provides some services like this also. Okay, well, I will leave that, but it's not an issue, it's a discussion. Good. Time, other questions, comments? Then triage/release on Thursday. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for the demo.
Thank you.
Bye bye.